Jering. And again, I have to apologize. We're opening up in the middle of the notes from my last class. We're going to start looking today at chapter 13. Again, remember that the chapter 12 test is due by 11:59 p.m. today, which is the 5th. We're going to be changing gears a little bit. Sadly, we've had 4 chapters that deal with geometry, one on just geometric definitions, one on measurement, one on transformational geometry, and then one on a little bit more of the theoretical part of geometry and constructions. Now we're going to start looking at statistics. The statistics homework right now is due on the 19th. The activities will also be due on the 19th. Let me just real quick grab my stack of activities. They're activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, activity 5. And those activities all deal with statistics and displaying data. I asked that you folks have with you today M&Ms. Did anybody remember to bring some M&Ms with them today?
I got mine.
Yes.
Okay, then for this activity, I'm going to just do a little bit of the starting part for you. If you have, give me a second. If you have a measuring spoon, what you're supposed to do is with your measuring spoon, measure out 1 tablespoon of M&Ms. I don't know if you folks have a measuring spoon or not. And so I'm going to real quick on my own kind of measure out a tablespoon and count for you how many that is. My tablespoon held 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 23 M&Ms. So count out, let's have everybody count out about 25 M&Ms. Please just take them as they come. We want them to be kind of random with respect to color. Once you've got them, I need you to, well, before we do it, you were supposed to guess which color do you think occurred most often. And again, that's just a guess. And then you're supposed to segregate them by color and count how many of each color you have. We need that information from the class. And so I'm going to give you my counts here. And this tally sheet is going to be over here after the first page of this activity in with today's notes. So I'm going to do my tally. I had 3 red, 2 green. I didn't have any blue. I had 2 brown. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 yellow, which is crazy. I've never seen such a big group of yellow. And then I have 7 orange. And so now I need that information from each of you. So I'm going to go by the attendance. Kelsey, can you tell me how many you had of each color?
Red, I had 1.
Okay. Green,
Green. 7 of green.
blue,
2.
brown,
5.
yellow,
3.
and orange.
7.
Okay. Victoria,
For red, I had 2.
yeah.
For green, I had 7. For blue, I had 5. For brown, I have 2. Yellow, I have 3. And for orange, I have 4.
Thank you. Then Stephanie,
Okay, so for red, I had 2. Green, I had 5. Blue, I had 3. I didn't have any brown.
Okay.
And then I had 3 yellow and 6 orange.
great, thank you. Naomi,
I had 4 red,
okay,
2 green,
okay,
4 blue,
okay,
2 brown,
okay,
5 yellow,
okay,
and 5 orange.
thank you.
You spelled my name wrong. That's
Do you want me to fix it?
That's fine.
Spell it for me, hon.
Naomi.
Sorry. Jess,
I didn't have the M&Ms with me.
okay, then, I guess we won't add you to the count. Vincent? Vincent?
Hello?
Yep. Do you have your M&Ms?
Yeah, I had 3 red,
Okay,
8 green,
okay,
2 blue,
okay,
3 brown,
okay,
0 yellow,
okay.
and 6 orange.
Thank you. Elizabeth?
I have
Go ahead.
5 red,
Okay,
2 green,
okay,
3 blue,
okay,
3 brown,
okay,
2 yellow,
okay.
and 2 orange.
How many orange?
2.
2, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Ava?
I have five red,
Mm-hmm.
4 green.
Okay,
What's next? 4 blue,
okay,
2 brown,
okay,
2 yellow,
okay,
and 8 orange.
thank you. Emily?
I got 3 red,
Mm-hmm.
2 yellow,
Mm-hmm.
10 blue,
Wow. Go ahead.
5 brown,
Okay,
4 orange, and 1 green.
thank you. Allison?
I had 4 red,
Okay,
5 green,
okay,
8 blue,
okay,
3 brown,
okay,
2 yellow,
okay,
and 1 orange.
all right. And so that's everybody. And so I will have this data upload it with the notes today. The notes for statistics are going to be much more like the notes for the preceding chapters, and I won't be balancing. I'll just be writing on the screen. So let's go back to that activity.
When Emily went,
Yeah.
she said yellow.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't know what happened, but she said yellow, and then you wrote it as green, I think. And then when she said orange or something, when she said green, you wrote it as orange or something like that.
Emily,
Like, she-
you want to give us your count again?
Sure.
Okay. Let me erase what I got in here. Go ahead.
3 red,
Mhm.
2 yellow,
Okay.
10 blue,
Okay.
5 brown,
Okay.
4 orange,
Okay.
and 1 green.
All right. I just went across the columns instead of listening to your words. I apologize. All right. So let me go back up to this chapter 13 activity then. And so on this activity, on the first page, you're supposed to take your spoonful and then record the number of each color in your sample. So everybody will have all of those, and then compare that to what you thought would be the most colorful, the most common. And then I'm going to skip over the page with the count for a minute. Look at that second page. Now over here, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to stack your M&Ms on this sheet to give a count of how many that you have. And so, oh dear, I was a bad person. I ate mine, and you're not supposed to eat them already. This is like a pictograph where we're going to just color in the M&Ms. So for example, I had 2 green. So I am going to color in 2 dots. Oh, 2 dots green. And then I had 13, well, 7, yeah, 13 yellow. And so I'm going to go through and I'm going to color in 13 yellow. And you get, oh, that's not yellow. That is 13 yellow. And you get the picture in terms of coloring them in for each color. Are you guys all right? I think you can probably do that coloring part on your own. And so that activity is something that I know that they do in elementary school at a very, very early age. I remember when my oldest child was in kindergarten, they didn't use M&Ms, but they used like Fruit Loops or something like that. I guess that's less expensive for the teacher than the chocolate or the M&Ms. And he came home with a pictograph like this, showing the different number of each color, kind of along the ideas of learning, you know, the idea of counting and shapes and colors and all of that. But this is something that I can very much picture going in an elementary classroom. And then the next one asks you to make a dot plot for each color. For this part, to make the dot plot for each color, oops, I have to apologize. I thought I had uploaded that sheet of paper into this activity. Let me real quick look in Blackboard. Oh my heavens, this isn't even your class. This is the preceding class. I apologize. What's the name? Handouts. Must be activities. In activities, do you see this M&M count? So what you're going to do is you're going to either draw or print out this page. And we'll use this as a start of one of the types of graphs that we're going to be looking at in terms of representing data graphically. And it's a dot plot. And oh, that was not what I wanted. I don't have that uploaded. I will upload that before the end of the day today. I apologize. I could have sworn I uploaded it. What it is it's a sheet of paper with a whole bunch of number lines that look like this on it. And you're supposed to, for each color, make a dot plot. And so let's go back to our M&M count. And let's together make a dot plot, let's say, for the orange. And so with my orange M&Ms, the smallest number that we had was 1. The largest number that we had was 8. And so when I look at a dot plot, what I'm doing is I'm putting a dot above each number. So the first sample had 7 oranges, so I'll put a dot above 7. The next one also had 7 oranges, so I'll stack and I'll put a second dot above 7. Then next one had 4, so I'll put a dot above 4. The next one had 6, so I'll put a dot above 6. The next one had 5, so I'll put a dot above 5. Then the next sample had 6, I'll put another dot above 6. The next sample had 2, I'll put a dot above 2. The next sample had 8, I'll put a dot above 8. The next sample had 4, I'll put another dot above 4. And the next sample had 1, I'll put a dot above 1. And so here I have a dot plot that shows me the distribution of my orange for each sample. Is everybody comfortable with that idea of making a dot plot, putting the dots above the numbers?
So is that just our data that we're putting on the dot plot?
No, we're using everybody's. This is what you need everybody's for. That dot plot that I did made use of everybody's orange. You're going to make one for everybody's orange, everybody's yellow, everybody's brown, everybody's blue, and everybody's green.
Okay.
Okay. And so you should be making, what do they call this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dot plots. So for this section, you're going to make 6 dot plots. And I guess it's probably easier for you to just draw them by hand, but I will upload those. Then you're going to do this part. You're going to find the total of each color. For the class. And to get the total of each color for the class, again, I would go back to the sheet that has the count. And so if I look at, let's say, the oranges, 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 10 is 24, 29, 35, 45. Wow, did that column actually add to 50? And so you're going to come up with a total for each color for the class. Everybody all right with that part?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's where you're going to put the total. Over here, in terms of the predictions, we're not going to worry about that, because in order to do that, we would have all had to taken our M&Ms out of the same 1 pound bag. And while you guys are doing the activity, I would count the colors that were left in the bag. But because we're not doing that, we're not going to use that predictions. And on the next page, over here, you're going to use the total for the class for this pictogram. And then you're also going to make a bar graph using the total for the class. And that's the end of, and then, you know, answer the questions that are asked. Is everybody all right with that M&M activity?
Yes,
Any questions?
not yet.
Okay. And now that you've got them all recorded, I guess now we can officially go ahead and eat our M&Ms. So somebody was asking something though. I apologize. I interrupted. What's up?
Okay, on the graph 1,
Mm-hmm.
under where it says like what to do, it says compare your picture graph with your classmates. Are we not doing that?
Well, what you're gonna do is you're gonna compare it over here with the dot plots. But I guess answering that question, compare with your where are we?
It's the
Compare
one-
with your classmates. This one? What page are you on?
that one, yep. Number 2.
Yeah, you can skip that question too. Okay,
Thank you.
but can you guys picture doing this activity with kids?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna, if you're all right, I'm gonna stop here with the activities and then go and look a little bit at the notes. And when we come to the stem and leaf diagram and the definitions, mean, median, mode, and the box plots, I'll pull up those other activities when we get to those parts during the course of this week. Okay? So, and now I'm feeling really bad because I went ahead and had a candy-based activity the day after Easter. And as I was eating my own M&Ms, I thought, oh my God, what am I doing? I ate so much candy yesterday. I swore I'd never eat candy again. And here I am eating my little bag of M&Ms. Oh boy. So, everybody ready to pick up with the notes? Then we're going to be looking at statistics. And the statistics is the study of data. It includes collecting, organizing, describing, and drawing conclusions from the data. These first 3 parts are referred to as descriptive statistics.
Ms. Triella,
Yeah.
are you recording?
Yes, I am.
Okay, it didn't say on the screen.
Oh dear. It shows it that I am on my screen.
You're
So-
recording.
And then the drawing conclusions from the data, this part is referred to as inferential statistics. Today, we're going to focus in the first section of the chapter, focuses on the idea of organizing data graphically. I put in bold prints, label everything. Because when we organize it graphically, we're setting it up so that somebody can look at and understand what we got. if we just put a long list of numbers, sometimes that's harder to deal with than if we did something like, use some of these organizers. So you want to put a title for each graph. You need to label each axis with what it represents, if there is multiple axes. Again, you want it so that the person who's reading knows exactly what your data was. And so we just looked at a dot plot for the number of M&Ms from the activity. Let's make another dot plot. And for this dot plot for our data, let's use the shoe sizes of people in class. And please, when I ask you your shoe size, can you just give me a whole size? You know how sometimes when you order shoes from a website, they don't have half sizes and you have to choose between the whole sizes. Just give me what your whole, the closest whole size. And so I'll start. I have the size 5. Kelsey, what size shoe do you wear?
8.
Great. Victoria?
7.
Thank you. Stephanie?
7.
Naomi?
7.
Jess?
7.
Wow, we've got a lot of size 7s. Vincent?
Hello. I'm a 9.5.
No, so would you order 9 or 10?
Probably 10.
Okay. Elizabeth?
8.
Thank you. Ava?
6.
Thank you. Emily?
10.
Thank you. Allison?
9.
And so for my dot plot, I'm going to make a number line. And I put a dot above the number for each data value. So I might give this the heading of shoe sizes for class. Number lines should always be evenly spaced. This number line will be the sizes. And so we'll go from 5 to 8. I'm sorry, 5 to 10. I made my number line a little bit too long, so I'm going to cheat and erase the extra. And then I'll put a dot above 5, above 8. And then let's see, I've got 4 7s in a row. Then I have a 10, another 8, another 6, another 10, and a 9. And do you see how easy that representation is to make and how it organizes our data for us? When we make it, we'll actually end up putting the numbers in order and also seeing the frequency or the number of values that the number of each data piece that we have. Is everybody comfortable making a dot plot?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then next, let's look at a stem and leaf diagram. A stem, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to need to fit a bit more writing in between here. A stem and leaf diagram is used to organize two-digit data. The stems would be the left digit, and the leaves would be the right digit. And here, for our example, I'm going to pick some totally random data. Let's look at the date of birth for class. And so I'm not looking at the month. I'm just looking for the number of the day of your birthday. And so, for example, my birthday is on the 13th. Allison, when's yours?
26th.
Emily, when's yours?
23rd.
Ava, when's yours?
8th.
Elizabeth, when's yours?
27th.
Vincent?
The second.
Jess?
22nd.
We got a lot of birthdays in the 20s. Naomi?
The second.
Stephanie?
25th.
No, there's a lot of 20s. Victoria?
27th.
And Kelsey.
21st.
So as we look at these, if we're looking at as two-digit numbers, does everybody see we've got 10s, 20s, and then just the single digits? And so my stems, I put 0 for my single digits. I put 1 for the numbers in the 10s, and I'd put 2 for the numbers in the 20s. This is going to be my sloppy copy, because after we go through and look at all of our data, we need to order them to make our neat copy. And so I'm going to cross off the numbers as we use them. The first number is 13. 13 would be in with the 10s. I would put 1, 3. Number 13 is 10 plus 3 or 13. Next, 26 would be 2, 6. Then 23, in the 20 columns, I'd put a 3. Then just plain old 8, that would go next to the 0 because there is no 10s. Then 27. Then 2 would go in the zeros next to the 0. 22 would go in with the 20s. 2 would again go with the single digits. Then I have 25, 27, and 21. Now for my good copy, I want to order the digits. And I should probably give a title. My title would probably be dates of birth. And then my stems will stay the same because we already put them in order. But then my leaves, do you see how the first one, they're not in order from smallest to largest. So I'd go 2, 2, 8, just reordering them. Next to the 1, I'd put a 3. And then let's see if I put the 20s in order. First, it would be 1, then 2, then 3, then 5, then 6, then 2 7s. A lot of times with a stem and leaf diagram, you see a key. In case somebody doesn't know how to read it, on my key, I might say that 2/1 equals the number 21. The other reason I would need a key is if instead of being dates, these would have represented something like home values, then 2/1 rather than being 21 might be $21,000 or something like that. And isn't that also a pretty quick way of organizing my data, putting them in order, and breaking them down into how many there are at each different place value. I'm going to scooch down to page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, no, I'm missing it. Oh, it's because the other activity is gone. Let's look at, I think it's page 5 of the activities. Again, this is a little bit dated. It doesn't include some of the more recent presidents. Your activity manual might. It's got the ages of presidents through Obama at inauguration. And so the first thing they want you to do is make a frequency table, which just would be labeling how many there are in each age group. And then answering whether you can come up with some descriptive statistics. Then from that, they ask you to make a histogram or a bar graph. But then down here, they ask you to make an ordered stem and leaf plot, which is what we're doing. And for the ordered stem and leaf plot, this one over here is where you're going to put your final one. This one over here would be your messy copy. And don't worry about the top one. They're just telling you, well, because the ages were in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, that those are what your stems would be. Then they ask you to do a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. And for a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram, you would use that to compare two populations. And so, for example, if I wanted to compare the ages of the Democrats to the Republicans, I'm going to have my stems down the middle, but the leaves for the Republicans will go on one side and the leaves for the Democrats will go on the other. And it's an interesting way of comparing the data. So in our example that we did in notes, we don't necessarily have that back-to-back stem and leaf diagram, but you'll run into that in the homework. Oops. And I apologize, going back here. On any of the activities, you can skip the extensions. Okay, you don't have to worry about doing the extensions. All right. So how is everybody with stem and leaf diagram? Any questions? If not, next is a bar graph. And for a bar graph, one axis would be the data, which can be categorical or numeric. And it doesn't matter whether it's the vertical or a horizontal. With a bar graph, you can have your bars going in either direction. And then the other axis is the frequency. And so, for example, let's say I asked for the color of the last car you drove in. And so I'll start white and just start yelling out colors to me rather than going through the roster. What color car did you ride in last, guys?
Dark blue.
Blue. What else?
Black.
black. What else?
Silver.
Silver,
Red.
red. You think we can repeat? Anybody else? Okay, I'm gonna make a red. Okay, go ahead. Anybody else?
White.
White. Anybody
White.
else? What, white?
Yeah.
Anybody else? All right, well, let's just use those then. And so for my bar graph, I might put my colors over here. And my frequency over here. And my colors are white, blue, black, silver, and red. And let's see, my highest frequency is 3, so I'll label that up to 3. And so then for red, I'd have a bar of length 2. For silver, 1. For black, 1. For blue, 1. And for white, I'd have a bar of length 3. And with the traditional bar graph, it can go sideways or it can go up and down. And your data can be things like colors or pretty much anything. That I'd like to compare to, next page, a histogram. And a histogram is a very specific type of bar graph. For a histogram, the data has to be numeric. The horizontal axis is the data. Sometimes you need to put a break in there. The vertical axis is the frequency. But what's important with a histogram is that the bars must touch. And so I'm going to go through and make a histogram of our shoe sizes. My horizontal axis will be my data, which will be my sizes. My vertical axis will be my frequency, or the number of folks. Our smallest size was a 5. My largest size was a 10. Because I'm not keeping the spacing between 0 and 5 consistent with the other, that's what I mean when I say put a break in the axis. We're supposed to be counting up from 0. And if I'm not counting up from 0 and just starting with my lowest number, I'm going to put a break. And then I have to apologize. I don't remember our highest frequency, so I'm going to go back and look. Our highest frequency was 4. And so the frequency will have to go up to 4. Again, on any graph, you want your labeling on your axes to be consistent. And rather than flipping pages, I'm going to cheat for a minute. And I'm going to go through and let's see if I can swipe. this information. And it didn't carry over. Oh, yes, it did twice. Now we've got it. So for 5, I have a height of 1. And so to show that height of 1, I'll have the bar that goes from 4.5 to 5.5 center with a height of 1. 6, there was 1. And again, because the bars are supposed to touch, that bar will go from 5.5 to 6.5. We had 4 size 7s. So there we'll have a bar of height 4 centered at 7. We had 2 size 8s. So we'll have a bar of height 2 centered at 8. We had 1 size 9. And then we had 2 size 10s. And notice that the histogram is real similar to the bar graph, except that we don't have as much freedom. With a histogram, the data must be numeric. The data must be on the horizontal axis. The height of the bar must be frequency. And with a histogram, it's really important that those bars touch. All right, I wanted to get a little bit further than this, but I'm looking at the clock, and my clock says it's 10 to 12, which means we probably need to stop. Does anybody have any questions on any of these graphic displays so far? If not, let me stop recording.